Hello friends, today we are going to begin with a new concept of business ethics. Now let us understand initially in this video that what exactly is business ethics, what are the principles attached, what are the various misconducts which keep happening in an organization, and also how we can put ethical practices in place in a smooth functioning of an organization. We would also understand what is known as ethical dilemma, and finally would give you some tips as to how do you work or maintain an ethical environment in and around yourself while working in any organization. Now, initially, let's understand what is business ethics. Now, business ethics is a principle and standards which determine the acceptable code of conduct in a business. Now, basically, it means a basic standards or basic principles which one needs to maintain for a smooth functioning of a business, which would be acceptable by each and every one associated with an organization. Now, ethics is basically a relationship that one makes with each other. Now, companies do not work somewhere in a very free space or in a space which they are not interacting with the other set of the members in the society. They have a complete interaction with all the set of members and different parts of the society, be it stakeholders, shareholders, government, society themselves, customers, and their own employees. So companies, because of globalization today, have to maintain something which is known as business ethics, which seems to be a little complex, but it's a very basic thing which in every organization needs to maintain so that they can give confidence to the stakeholders of the company about their reputation and the working. Now, there are a few basic principles which every business ethics which every organization have to follow, which are related to business ethics. Now, business ethic principles, first is honesty. Very, very important that the company needs to maintain honesty in all the communications, in all the actions that they do. A simple example was there was a fairness cream advertisement which showed that it would make people fair within 8 weeks or within X number of weeks. Now, obviously, the results were not desired results. It was just an advertisement which was done to attract attention, but not actually what they promised in an advertisement was delivered. Now, because of this, obviously, the fairness advertisements have been banned. Okay, the creams have not been used by a lot of people now. So honesty is very important as to you tell the people through your advertisements what the real self is and not make up a story which might not be true in the future. Second is integrity. You need to maintain as an individual your personal integrity. Personal integrity means personal identity. You need to be very sure. People need to be aware that you cannot mess with the person, with the next person if you're wrong. People should have confidence in the way you talk and should believe every time that if it's coming from you as a source, it has to be correct. That integrity has to be maintained. Start keeping promises. The company is very important, have to keep promises. If they have promised to declare a dividend in X amount of time or in X period of time, they should declare a dividend. And if in case they're not able to, they should come up to public and apologize for the same and give them a reasoning as to why they have not declared. Next is loyalty. Very, very important. You have to be loyal to your own customers. You have to be loyal to your own vendors, to your stakeholders, to the people who are investing in your companies. Is because that is the crux of everything. That's a framework of everything. People will only be trusting you, will rely on you only if you're loyal to them. Loyalty becomes a base of every relationship today. Fairness. Fairness in a sense means you have to treat everyone equal. Be it a peon or a clerk in your organization or a CEO. Everyone has to be treated on the same platform at the same level. Okay, the rules, the laws, the regulations, it implies same for everybody. You have to be caring also. You have to be caring towards your own employees, towards the society. It's because it is very, very important. Today, they form the major part of the organization. You need to care about your customers also. You need to have a genuine concern about people associated with you. You should also respect others. it's a give respect is a give and take relation. Until you don't respect somebody, people will not respect you back. So as an organization, if you don't respect the feelings of the customers or your employees, they will not be able to respect you. So like it is said, it is very important for a person. I'm sorry, I do not know Bengali, but I will surely speak in English. So you have to develop that respect for the person. Now the respect is a two-way relation. Okay, you give respect, you get respect. It is very, very important to treat everyone out of respect so that they look up to you every time. You have to be law-abiding. You cannot anyways not abide law. Law-abiding means to follow every law, be it air pollution laws, your basic taxation laws, your factory laws. You have to follow every law, and you have to make sure you keep filing things as and when required or as and when demanded, is because that will give your genuineness to the people. That will build trust to the people that this is a genuine company, because you obviously abides to the laws, and second is open about everything. You have to have commitment of excellence. The commitment of excellence has to be all the time. You have to be prepared that I will be good all the time. Okay, I will try to be the best. Once I achieve for the maximum, I will land up something close to that. So you have to commit to yourself and to the customers that you will be excellent. You will give them the best product which they can from their end. Leadership, you have to become a leader. You have to honor. Now, if you are a leader, everybody will look up to you. Okay, if you are a role model for someone, people look up to you. So if you don't believe or you don't practice ethical practices, obviously your followers won't. So as a leadership quality, you need to make sure that you honor all the ethical practices and follow them. You need to be accountable. Accountable in a sense means if something has gone wrong from your end, please accept it. I keep saying it in every session of mine that you need to accept if something has gone wrong. You need to be very, very sure, okay? Or if anything has gone wrong, you have to accept that part. You have to be very clear as to why it has gone wrong. Accept the mistakes. A recent incident had taken place. One of the employees came up on one of the social media platform and said that she was being harassed by one of the HR employees. Now, obviously, the recordings were shared, everything was shared, and the owner, the stakeholder, the main owner of the company came on social media and apologized for the same, accepted that it has been done from our end, apologized and promised to take some actions. Now, this is what is ethical practice. This is what people look up to them for, okay? So, it is very important. So, automatically, if you believe in ethical practices, if you do right ethical practices, your reputation will maintain, your goodwill will be maintained. People are going to look up to you every time, and you have to deliver what you have promised. So if I do not give them right products at the good quality products, I can't charge them extra. You have to be that clear in your consciousness. Now, this is all about what is important. Now, or the principles of business ethics. Let's understand something which is known as Woodrow Wilson's rules. Now, Woodrow Wilson has mentioned 4 rules which are important for any organization to function, be it a startup or an MNC or any huge company for that matter of fact. The first rule is role of publicity. So, the rule of publicity says that whatever you do, you should make sure you are very clear to the people. Your communication has to be perfect. You cannot have doubts. You cannot create misunderstandings. You cannot create suspicions in the minds of the public or your own stakeholders. You have to be very, very clear to public. The second one is rule of equivalent price. Like I said initially, that if you have promised to give a particular quality of product, please charge them as per the quality you have promised. If you are charging them unnecessary for an inferior quality product, please realize you will lose the market over a period of time. You will lose your customer base is because you're not giving them what is desired. So very important, people value for money. So you need to value customers' money also. You need to accept if your product is of inferior quality, accept it and sell it at a lower price. If it is of a superior, fantabulous quality, please sell it at a higher price. Customers will accept it and buy it if it's a need of the hour. Next, the third rule is rule of conscious in business. Your conscious is very important. Your sixth sense is very important. Now, when you're conducting a business, every business has to benefit the society for some reasons, okay? In indirect ways or direct ways, you have to benefit the society. Now, for some companies above a particular turnover, government has made it compulsory to have CSR practices. But obviously, a startup also contributes wholeheartedly to the society. You're conscious as a company, stakeholders, as a owners, as an organization, employees have to be clear. You need to be clear as to what you're giving back to the society. You need to understand what is right and what is wrong. And if you're doing wrong, try correcting it. Does not mean you keep doing it because it's going to give you profits. So if you're doing wrong, please try correcting it every time and make sure you give it back to the society with a smile on the face always. And finally, the rule of spirit of service. Now, rule of spirit of service basically means to serve the society. Your CSR practices, the way you serve to the society is very important. Now, small organizations, they sponsor their employees' children's fees or maybe their clerical staff's fees, education fees, something or the other. That's a way you contribute. That's a way you give return to the humans who have given you something back, okay? And it's a vicious cycle. You do good, it comes back to you. You do bad, it again comes back to you. So it's very, very important to maintain this rule also. Now, moving on from Woodrow's obviously rules, let's understand some common mistakes which people have in an organization when they feel are related or misconducts of an organization as a whole. Now, sometimes they misinterpret hours. Now, where there is no punch machine in an organization, people write wrong hours. They write 15 minutes extra, 15 minutes early. If they are late, they will make sure they don't punch in the late time. They write the exact time, dot 9 o'clock they entered. Please don't do that. It is wrong as an organization's employee. You need to be true to them that yes, you were late for half an hour, and as an HR, you need to understand that today the world is running around. It's born natural. Sometimes once in a blue, an employee might get late for a genuine reason. Second, you lie to your supervisors. Never lie to your supervisors because they are the only ones who are going to protect you also when you tell them, okay? So if you are genuine to them, if you really tell them the truth, there are times when they will protect you first than you yourself protecting yourselves. So it's very important not to lie to your supervisors. You should never lie to your employees, customers, stakeholders in any fashion, in any ways, be it public announcement or be it just an advertisement or be it anything. You should obviously never misuse an organization asset. Never do side businesses in an organization using organization's asset. Use your own assets to do any kind of a side business that you wish to do. That is completely okay. Everybody wants to earn an extra penny. But don't use an organization's asset. Organization times, company hours mein kisi aur ka kaam karte hue. Don't do all of that. That is really not correct. Any kind of false recording, this comes from a service industry. Do not record false results, okay? Because you've been bribed or you've been forced to do that. No sexual harassment should take place in an organization. Keep reporting it so that it becomes aware. People are aware, they get trust in an HR team that they will take action against any kind of harassments. Stealing and theft is also a misconduct. Withholding any kind of information which needs to be shared just because you feel that if I tell this information, everybody will start working on it and I will be left behind. Let me make the maximum use of this information. That is really wrong or unethical. Using very aggressive targets, okay, which is also not correct. You cannot push an employee to the wall saying that you have to achieve something. Be realistic in the targets that you make as a supervisor, as an in charge. Using abusive languages, any kind of business relations or conflict of interest with anybody, for that matter of fact, when you're using any kind of a wrong language, leads into misconduct, which is unethical in a business environment. Now, what are the reasons for all these misconducts? One is pressure, obviously peer pressure. Second is fear that you might lose the job. People will misinterpret about yourself something else. The greed to earn extra money. The convenience that nobody is watching me. Super trust is being developed, so I can't do it. You have to follow boss's directives, so you take a bribe or make false results, okay, because you want to be good to the boss. You become over aggressive for your non-financial objectives also. You try helping the organization to survive, so you do some wrong misconducts because of the schedule pressures, timely delivery, or you can say you're not being a team player, or you're irrationalizing with the others, or you have some career threats. All these are the reasons or the causes for any kind of a misconduct. Now, when you have all these things happening, all these misconducts happening, and a person is not able to deal with the stress, okay, and is of any complex issue and has to make up a decision, okay, that yes or a no, and does not know what is correct and what is wrong, okay, when a person is not able to differentiate between the right and the wrong, and the decision that he is making is under stress, that situation is known as ethical dilemma. Now, this ethical dilemma is something which is very natural. There are many layers to it. Okay, why this stress came? Why this yes or no was not able to be differentiated correctly? All of this can be very easily sorted if you are genuine to yourself and correct to yourself. Now, there are a few myths in today's world about business ethics. The first myth is that business ethic is a new fad. New fad means it's just a new thing which has come into the market, saying that it's a trend, it's a globalization trend. No, business ethics always was there in the system, but the only reason now we have to do it is because lot of misconducts or scams are happening. Pehle, it was not that way. Initially, everybody was very true to their words, used to stick by the words. Now that situation does not happen. So business ethics as a concept has become so much into the picture. Business ethics is religion versus management? No, it's not. It irrespective of whichever religion, whichever country you belong to, the way of organization functions is based on some basic principles which mean the same across all the countries across the globe in any dictionary for that matter of fact. Now, business ethics is obviously to be good, which is yes, you have to be good. But when required, you have to be bad also, so that the good is being done. Okay. Now, business ethics is you preach people about how to be good, or you preach good people how to be good and bad people how to be good. No, that's not that. You tell about yourself first, how you will maintain, and people learn from you. Now, ethics can't be managed is again wrong. Being legal is equal to being ethical? No. Being legal is a part of being ethical. So it's a subset of ethical. Ethical is a huge thing. A part of it is abiding to the law also. And last is ethical has a practical relevance. Yes, many a times it has a practical relevance. It is more of a theoretical base part to keep, or it is more about the upbringing you come from, which is a theoretical upbringing or a traditional upbringing everyone is brought up with. Now, few tips which an organization has to follow which are related to ethics is you develop a code of ethics. Develop a code of ethics, share it with everybody in the organization. From top to bottom, everybody has to follow that. The dress code, the timings, the way you interpret your results, the mailers have to be marked in a particular, everything has to be designed and people have to follow that. And when you start doing that, people start taking ethics as a process and not as a compulsion. And because of which the lines of communication are open, you set good examples to the people outside your organization and inside your organization also. You educate people by telling them what is right and wrong, by easily differentiating amongst them, and you value forgiveness. If somebody is done wrong and you feel it's a genuine thing and the person genuinely feels bad about it, you value it and you say, and you accept that forgiveness for that person. The next one is how do you benefit a workplace? Okay, by managing ethics. Now, first is obviously if you are ethical, you will improve the society. The crime rate will go down, the lies will go down, the falseness will go down. People will abide to their promises. They will not make fake promises. You will obviously maintain a moral course, which is very, very, very important in today's times. Okay. In an employee, you will cultivate productivity, teamwork, goodness, development, morale, all these things individually an employee will come up with. You will obviously insure them some insurance also, saying that, if you do good, you get these benefits, you are insured, or, your place is secured if your code of ethics are maintained always. You obviously value the quality of an organization. You strategically, accordingly plan. You don't become very aggressive with your companies, with your employees. You accept diversity because you're doing globalization. You respect each other's culture because of that. You obviously show a very strong image to the public outside as an organization of a whole. And end of the day, you're doing the right thing, which is very, very important. To do the right thing at the right time, at the right place, which is must in an ethics. Okay, now this is all about what ethics was. Now there are few things which every individual also has to maintain, like organizations have ethical practices with different set of people. They're different to the society, like I said, they have to maintain CSR practices. They're different to the customers, which means they have to give them good quality products at a rate which is desired, okay, or which is genuine. And also promises that they make through their advertisements have to be accomplished. You cannot make any kind of false promises to the customers. When I talk about shareholders or stakeholders, they are the ones who put money into your business. So your reputation has to be maintained, your goodwill has to be maintained. Make sure your share prices always keep rising, which gives them the confidence to not withdraw from your company. Make sure you declare dividends to them on a regular basis, and those dividends are genuine dividends. The dividends reach up to every stakeholder or a shareholder. And finally, with the government, when you are doing any kind of ethical practice, you have to make sure you do it with the government also. You have to abide to all the laws. Pay on time your taxes, your sales tax, your GSTs. Everything has to be paid on time. You have to make sure you abide to the basic rules which are related to the pollution control. You abide to the basic rules which are to the society. You contribute to the employment ratio in the country. You contribute to the GDP of the country. All these things are something which you can do towards a government or a country as a whole, which is somewhere linked to the ethical practices that you do. Few companies who are very strong about the ethical practices. One is Tata, which we all have heard about. Their code of conduct has been very strong. And from years, it has been stuck to that code of conduct. Employees love working in the organization. They feel a sense of security when they're working there. The second organization which we've seen has a strong code of conduct is obviously Infosys. Now, the owner of Infosys, okay, the one who started Infosys, the founder of Infosys, Narayan Murthy himself is a strong ethical person. So he's projected the company altogether also is a very strong ethical company which people respect, which people appreciate, they understand, and they relate to completely. They have a total trust in what Infosys does altogether. So these are the two strong companies of India which have a very strong ethical background. Irrespective of how large they are as a company, they make sure their ethics, the way they work, the way they treat their employees, their customers, the shareholders, stakeholders, the way they are with the government is very, very ethical. And it's very difficult to remove any kind of nooks or issues from that company or any kind of non-ethical practices happening in that company. Now, finally, if I have to sum up this ethical thing, it's a very, like, Alexander has said, it's a simple step of simple, courageous man to not take part in a lie, okay, and not to support any kind of deceit. Let the lie come into the world, even dominate the world, but not through you. That's very important. It's a very simple line which he said and means so much. If I have to put it again, it will say that it takes a lot of courage for a man to say that I will not accept the lie, I will not accept any kind of wrong deeds which are being done. Let the lie come into the world. Let it even dominate the world. But I will not be a part of that lie. That lie will not come into the world through me. It will come into the world the way it wants to. I will still be, even if I'm alone, I will stand by what is correct and not what is wrong or what is a lie. So now, if I have to sum, I will just say again, the purpose of ethics is obviously to enhance lives, to enhance relationships both inside the organization and outside the organization. And business ethics means of conduct because, okay, it means a huge means of conduct because every business has a human touch, and in order to get welfare into the society, this human touch has to be given some ethical code of conduct so that it is a process of an organization and not a compulsion to be maintained in an organization. That's all. Now the question which has come up is, how do we improve business? Now, if I talk from the ethical point of view, if you stand by your ethics, you stand by your word, automatically the business will improve. There is no harm in not improving. Improvement of the business have lot of other aspects also, like the sales aspect, the financial aspects, which I'm not going to talk today about. I'm only concentrating on the ethical practices of the business, which obviously is very, very important. How to do development in a business? It's the same thing. Development depends upon what kind of a business you are. If you are a startup with a very innovative concept, it will take time. Patience is the key of success. If you know the idea which you have is what the future generation is going to look up to, because that is how it is. Even if Paytm or Uber or Swiggy, whatever have come up, they had to keep patience, and once it struck, everybody is using it, everybody has become a pro in it. Okay, now what is business ethics? Business ethics, like I said in the first very initial slide or very initial part was that it is the way or the core, it is a principle, the way you work, which is acceptable by everybody in the society and in the company itself. So the way you work is acceptable by the people inside and outside the organization. That is business ethics. Now, how many marketing businesses grow? Now, I'm not here to talk about marketing businesses, so let's keep it for the next session. Now, the GDP of India, ma'am, this is not a session where I'm talking about the financials or I'm talking about numbers. I'm talking about pure business ethics. So I'm just going to stick to that and not give you the financial numbers per se.